Have I ever, chat? I mean, we're in a fairly boring race right now. Have I ever told you, chat, about the time I went out on a date and I wasn't quite threatened that I was going to get stabbed, but I was warned that if I tried anything on, I'd get stabbed. So, I'm gonna tell you this. Have I told this story before? Baklava is good. That is really nice. Can I tell this story on Twitch? Will they get me banned? Not with Last 2 and 2, no. No. This was not with Last 2 and 2. Last 2 and 2 knows this story. But it was definitely not Last 2 and 2. I only got reminded of it because I'd kind of forgot about it, to be honest. And I only remembered because the girl that I went on a date with, for whatever reason, appeared on my Facebook people you might know. And I was like, I weirdly feel like I do recognize that person. And then, yeah, I remembered what that was about. Yeah, Baklava is good. I'm probably butchering the name, but... So basically, I downloaded, I think it was Hinge, back in the day. And I matched with this girl fairly quickly. You know, don't want to brag or anything. We started talking, and, you know, things were going fairly smoothly. So I think we'd agreed to go out on a date on, like, the next week, I want to say. So I think, like, we'd said that we'd go out for a date on, like, the next Wednesday. This was, like, the Friday, because I think I had somewhere to be over that weekend or something. So we agreed, like, we'd go out the next Wednesday. So obviously, you know, that was all good. You know, first ever date. I was nervous, but I was like, oh, you know what, we can do this. So we were speaking, I think this was then on the Friday night, like the week before. And we were speaking till, and you guys know me, I don't stay up very late, but we were speaking at like 11 o'clock at night. And she was suddenly there going, basically she was like, obviously we're meant to be going out the Wednesday afterwards. And she was like, I'm free tonight. Do you want to meet up? Bear in mind, this was like 10 PM. And I was kind of there, like, a little bit nervous, as you would be. But I was like, you know what? We spoke to each other for a little bit of time. You know, I've got enough to believe you're not a catfish or anything like that. You know, like her Instagram was linked or something. I was like, you know what? Yeah, what's life without, you know, doing some stuff? You either make a decision that you live to regret, you never see the next day, or you got a good story for your Twitch chat. In a little way further down the line. So we kind of go, yeah, okay. So she's like, what do you want to do? And I was like, well, she lived in like the bigger town nearby. So I was like, obviously I can come to you. You know, and then we can sort of just go into the town, have a couple of drinks or something, or a drink for me it would have been, because obviously I was driving. So we go out. And I pick her up from near her house. And to be fair, I kind of said, I was like, I'm happy to either pick you up from yours if you'd like, or of course, if you don't want me knowing where you live yet, which I can understand, I was like, I can pick you up from nearby. And she was like, yeah, that works better for me. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So picked her up from, I think it was a petrol station. It was a really odd petrol station. I had no idea it was ever there. But it's basically in the middle of a housing estate, which even now looking back, I think is really, really weird. So obviously pick her up. You know, we go out, and we park up somewhere, like, in town, and we get out the car, and we're walking sort of, like, into where, like, the pubs and bars are, and things like that. And we're kind of talking about different things, so she sort of asked me about, like, YouTube and stuff, because I think I was already full-time, but I don't think I'd been full-time for very long, but I think I was full-time by then. So, you know, she was sort of asking me about how that works and kind of things. And she was like, yeah, like, obviously, I've already stalked you a little bit on there. I was like, fair enough. And then, so we were talking about a couple of other bits and pieces. And then, pretty much seemingly out of nowhere, like, we were just talking about, like, other dates and things like that. She turns to me and goes, well, you know, to keep myself safe on a date, I bring a knife. And I kind of laughed it off at first. I thought, you know, good joke, you know, I can, you know, very funny. And she sort of looked at me and went, no, I'm serious. In my handbag is a steak knife, so don't try any funny business. And I was kind of there going, do I ask to see this or not? Like, I don't think I want to kind of, I don't really want to be in a situation where I'm telling a girl I've only just met going, prove it. Prove that you could stab me, kind of thing. So I kind of, like, laughed it off, and, I was kind of there going, a bit of an odd one, but kind of the rest of the evening played out. So, apart from that, things went fairly smoothly. It was all right. We got on fairly well. I don't think longer term it was going to go anywhere anyway. But at the end of the night, I sort of drop her home, or drop her back at this petrol station. And, well, bizarrely, it basically went like this. So obviously, we sort of said, both had an all right time. Would we still be down for meeting up the next Wednesday? And I was kind of there, like, a little bit freaked out by the knife thing, but I was like, what's the worst that can happen? She brings a knife on the second date, then we got a problem. If not, we should be good. So she was like, make sure you text me when you get home. So I obviously texted her when I got home. This was like 1 in the morning at that point. I was absolutely shattered. Didn't get a response. So I was like, oh, I assume she's fallen asleep. So sort of texted her the next day again, just saying, that was... And not obviously what we'd originally planned to do, but was still fairly good fun. Never heard back from her. Never. Never heard from her again. Hey, what's happened? That's timed perfectly.